I'm Megan, and we are getting back to the basics. Bitch! So we all know that slouched forwards, hunched over a desk, click-clacking away at our keyboard like a desk goblin position is an epidemic. And so taking our bodies from that hunched over position into an extended position is exceptionally important if we want to restore our posture or just maintain better posture. So here's some exercises that we can do throughout the workday and especially throughout the week, because even if you can't do these every day, it's definitely something that you want to incorporate into a regimen so that you can realign your spine and feel longer and more open, less restricted in your chest and in your ability to open through the front part of your body. So we are going to go ahead and lie down on our stomach. Just let those legs reach out long behind you, and then stack your hands on top of each other and place your forehead down on top of your hands. You want to make sure that your shoulders are not lifted into your ears. So make sure that whatever position you have those hands at, that they are in a place where your shoulders can stay relaxed. And so from there, we're going to move one leg at a time. So I want you to think about that right leg first and reach it long so that it's nice and taut. Feel it activate, like straighten. And then lift that leg up off of the floor. You want to make sure that when you lift the leg up, that you don't lift it so high that you end up clenching in your low back. Okay, the other way to keep yourself from feeling your low back when you're doing this is to really thrust your pelvis and your hips forwards into the mat. So you want to feel that thrusted forwards position as you lift one leg up and then lower it back down. So simultaneously thrusting that pelvis when you're lifting the leg is going to help you keep the work right there in the bottom of the butt and keep it out of your low back. All right? Do 5 like that. For 5, exhale 4, last 3, for 2, one more. And then from there, obviously you want to make sure to take the other side. So thrusting that pelvis forwards, I like to do that first to make sure I'm in position. Even just doing that, getting that pelvis into position is going to help a lot with finding those glutes. So once you thrust, you should be able to feel that. And then from there, lift that left leg straight up and lower it back down. And again, the range is small. You want to really, the reason we're lifting this leg is to challenge that position of the pelvis, because the weight of the leg wants to yank that pelvis up, and we want to keep it pressed forwards. Let's go 5 here. For 5, lift and lower. And make sure you're keeping your head down. It's hard for me to instruct and keep my face angled towards the floor. One more, lift and lower. All right, and so from there, take your forehead off of your hands and slide those hands underneath of your armpits. Squeeze your elbows in tight by your sides. Okay, your gaze is going to start at the floor and your shoulders are going to start rounded forwards. So from there, thrust that pelvis into the mat and feel how in so doing it engages your glutes right at the bottom in the spot that you pushed into when you were lifting the legs. Then keep those on, roll the shoulders down the back, and use the glutes as leverage to reach your sternum, your chest forwards as you pull your head and your chest up through your shoulders. okay? So you're not just lifting upwards and just folding in the lumbar spine. You are reaching forwards to lift yourself up. And then lower that down. Allow the shoulders to roll forwards. Keep the pelvis and the hips thrusted forwards. Roll those shoulders back. Push into the hands and press yourself up. Reaching forwards before lifting upwards. And that's going to put the work into your mid-upper back, okay? Any clenching in the low back lets you know that that pelvis needs to be repositioned and the glutes likely aren't engaged, okay? Let's go 3 here. For 3, shoulders roll back, pelvis is pressed forwards, glutes are on. Use the glutes as leverage to press yourself up and then to lower back down. 3 here. For 3, lift, and lower. Last 2, roll the shoulders back first, push into the heels of the hands, and then lift yourself up, reaching that sternum forwards as you pull up, and then lower down. And 1 more, shoulders roll back, push into those hands, press yourself up, and then lower yourself back down. Okay, so then coming from your stomach onto your back. So another thing that's really important to do in addition to strengthening the back is making sure that there is mobility back there. So from a neutral position, knees are bent, feet are flat. I want you to pull your pelvis, your pubic bone, pull it towards your face. So it'll feel in the back like you are flattening your lumbar into the mat. And then keep this position of the pelvis and just scoop it off of the floor. As a result, you'll push the butt upwards while keeping the rib cage pulled together and in, and dragging your heels a little bit closer to your butt. They're not actually going to move, the heels, but if you root them down and try to drag them in, you'll notice how that squeezes, that shortens your hamstrings and makes them work, which is good because we want the backs of the legs we want to really tap into those, okay? So take an inhale here, and as you exhale, you'll roll yourself down from the rib cage first. So really articulating through your vertebrae as you roll yourself down, going all the way and then releasing to neutral. And then from neutral, pull that pubic bone towards your face. Feel your abdomen kind of scoop in a little bit to scoop that pelvis up off of the floor, lifting up onto your shoulder blades. Push down through the heels and drag the heels towards you as you reach out through the knees. So the bottoms of the legs are cinched and you're kind of pulling the heels towards your butt, while the tops of the legs are opening and you're reaching the knees away. The more that you can get those two oppositional forces working together, the more you're going to be able to tap into the hamstrings. Now take an inhale, and as you exhale, roll down. Again, from the ribs first. So pushing the ribs in, feeling that bra line press into the mat, and then sequentially rolling through every vertebrae from there. Taking your time with that, enjoying that descend because it should feel kind of nice. And once you've arrived, releasing back to neutral. And then do it one more time. Pull the pubic bone towards your face. This is where you really press down hard through your heels and scoop your pelvis up, lifting yourself onto those shoulder blades, Really reaching those knees away, making sure that the rib cage isn't popping forwards, because if you push that forwards, we're just gonna end up straining that low back. So that's where keeping ourselves connected in the front so that we can connect to the backs of our legs, really pushing down through the heels, dragging them towards our butt while we reach the knees away is going to get that activation. Now, instead of rolling down, hinge at your hips. Fold in the crease of the hips to lower the butt. Then open in the crease of the hips to lift it back up. Again, lower and then lift. And take it down and press it up. When you push up with that pelvis, I want you to feel that pubic bone kind of lifting and reaching as if it was trying to reach past your face, okay? Getting like a swoop action going with that pelvis. The more you can swoop it as you push it, the more you'll be able to target the right spot. Inhale to go down, exhale to swoop and lift. Inhale, exhale up. 5 here for 5. Exhale. And 4, making sure not to pop that rib cage. Oof. For 3, inhale down, exhale up. Oof. 2, lift. 1 more, take it down, exhale, press up, hold yourself here, take an inhale, and as you exhale, roll it down. From the ribs first, rolling through the vertebrae of your spine, releasing yourself all the way down to neutral. Okay, and so go ahead and roll back onto your stomach. Stacking those hands back over top of one another. You're going to place your forehead down on top of your hands, just like we did in that first exercise. So making sure those shoulders are not lifted into your ears. Then bend your knees and let the knees open out to the sides a little bit, kind of like a frog. And squeeze your heels tightly together. And so from there, I want you to thrust that pelvis into the mat as you squeeze your heels hard simultaneously. So the heels are squeezing and the pelvis is thrusting. And then just release that squeeze a little bit and pull and squeeze it right back in. Exhale, squeezing those heels hard, thrusting that pelvis forwards. Hold, hold, hold. And then inhale to release. And again, exhale, squeeze, and release. And so this isn't a very big action, but the more that you can, or the harder that you can squeeze the heels together while thrusting the pelvis forwards, the more you'll be able to connect to the bottom of your butt. And I'm talking like, in this instance, the bottom, it's almost like making like an upside down heart. That's where you want to feel this, right in the bottom of the butt cheeks. Go ahead and squeeze, squeeze it hard, squeeze it hard, squeeze it hard. And then release, and then do another squeeze. Hold that squeeze. From here, keep the heels connected, keep that squeeze on, keep the pelvis thrusted forwards. That's the most important part, is that pelvis. And then lift the thighs slightly off of the mat, and lower them back down. You might barely lift, okay? It's possible you won't even lift them all the way up, but I want the intention to be there. Pressing right into the bottom of the butt. Exhale, lift and lower. And again, up and down. And lift and lower. 5 here for 5. Exhale, 4. Last 3. For 2, up and down. One more time. Lift and lower. Take a break. Little shake out. And then go ahead and bend those knees again. Connecting those heels, we're gonna add on to that. So squeeze those heels hard, thrust that pelvis forwards, lift the thighs slightly off of the mat, hold them there and extend your legs back behind you and then pull, like drag them back in. Extend away, keeping those thighs slightly lifted off of the floor and bend wide. When you extend the legs, the knees are gonna point away from your midline, okay? So the legs are turned out. Working with the legs that way is really gonna get into those glutes as you push the heels away and drag. And again, push them away and drag them in. Let's go 5 here for 5. Push and pull for 4. Push, squeezing, 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 and drag for 3. Push and drag. Last 2. Slide it out. Ugh. Pull it in. One more time. Push, 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 and then pull. Ooh. All right. Coming back onto our backs. Ugh. So, knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. Let's pull that pubic bone towards your face and then roll yourself up onto those shoulder blades. Really press down hard through the heels and imagine that you're dragging those heels towards your butt. So on the inside, feel as if that's what you're trying to do, okay? Then press really hard through that left heel and feel that left butt cheek like stiffen as if it is making itself into a pedestal for your pelvis. Then pull one leg into tabletop and reach that leg straight up towards the ceiling. If you need to, you can keep that leg bent in tabletop because we want to keep those hips level as you lower the leg straight down towards the floor and then pull it back up. Hips stay level, butt stays lifted. Lower the leg and lift. Working through that standing glute. Rib cage is staying tight. 5 here for 5. Last 4. For 3. Exhale, up. Last 2. Lift. Oof. One more. Nice. Then bend that leg, set it on the floor, that foot, then really press down hard through that right heel, engage that right butt cheek like a pedestal, pull the left leg to tabletop, and then extend it up to the ceiling. We lower it down, we lift it up. Exhale, lower, and lift. Right butt cheek is on fire, weight is in that right heel. We have 5. And 4. Last 3. Up. Good for 2. One more. Nice work. Then set that foot down. Roll yourself down with control. We're going to bend those knees in towards your chest. Give those shins a hug. And then rock yourself side to side. So staying on your back, squeeze the legs and the feet together. Have your hands on the floor, but open them out just a little bit wider than your hips. And send both legs to the right side as you gaze over your left shoulder. Just getting a nice subtle twist in that back, in that low spine. You might get some mid-back there. And then pull those legs up through center. Take them over to the left as you gaze over that right shoulder. And then pull those legs up again. Go over to the right, gazing over the left shoulder. Hopefully your hoop earring doesn't get in the way. And then pull those legs up through center. Take them over to the left as you gaze over the right shoulder. And then pull those legs back up through center.